The hell? Just waiting on a couple of more people to come in to the chat. I want everybody to see what we're actually dealing with as of late. We've become so embarrassing weak in the eyes of foreigners and outsiders that they're making videos like this. Take a listen.
My biggest fear in life is that this man may never witness our full takeover. Yes, he may never witness that. He already witnessed our partial takeover, our little success in America. And he is the reason, actually, I know that the community in America is thriving. He is how I know. It's like, he's how we measure our progress. If he doesn't tweet, somebody messed up. I know it. Somebody fucked up the plan. If he tweet, I know. I know we're doing the right things. Yes, that's how I know. So he's old and sick, I know. He may not witness our full takeover, but I promise you that his sons will witness. Just like him, we came to exist in this country. See, the land of free men, the land of opportunities. And we're here. Yes. And we're not leaving, actually. We're not going back. What do you mean go back? You should go back first. You see, if you came first, you go first. See, just like you. Tell me how you own this land. Explain to the world how this land became your land. Tell the world.
Well, this land was conquered in war. See, you guys have mouths to talk, but you don't have brute size and brute strength. See, right now we have people like Johnny Somali here that are openly making videos insulting and threatening the president of the United States of America because they see us as weak. And I'll be honest, white Americans have not been the same since the Fonz. It's been a long time since we've had a cowboy in office. We decided to do the liberal thing by putting the first gay black president in office. We also elected his brain dead sidekick. We teetered around putting a liberal woman in office because she was a maniac with a bad temper who could not rationalize anything but a unnecessary bloodlust. That wouldn't be good for business. The fact that those were going to be the leaders of the free world, the rest of the world is laughing at us because only the Europeans are so dumb and weak that they would put certain types of people in power. That's why Europe is going the way they are now and will be irrelevant in the next 10 years or so. Again, they see white Americans, even the men, as being very liberal, very soft, very weak, and very sweet. And they think America is up for grabs, that just some physically weak Somalians could come over here and eventually take over a country that was fought for. See, we spilled blood for this land. That's why the people who blood was spilled, their ancestors and descendants are still here, but they never ran up to try to take it back. They know better. We've left scars in people that lasted for generations, but we haven't done it in so long. The belt to ass strategy is going to have to be re-implemented. See, this is why every time you look up, they're talking bad about a certain American man that they all fear. A man by the name of Pete Hegseth. And this is why.
Daryl, a new Pentagon watchdog report finds that Secretary Hegseth risked endangering U.S. troops by relaying this information about that strike in March over the Signal app. It's been referred to as Signalgate. But the report says that he has the authority to declassify information, and the Pentagon says it's a total exoneration of Hegseth. What do you make about what we're learning?
The Secretary of Defense has historically had the ability to declassify, but declassifying is an actual process. And so he didn't go through that process clearly, as demonstrated in the press, as demonstrated by the IG report. So whether he was able to declassify it beforehand, which I think is doubtful, because this was an action that was going to happen over the next several hours. So I think that's specious argument at best.
Some Democratic lawmakers are calling for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth to step down. This comes after a Pentagon report shows he did not comply with Defense Department policies when he used his personal cell phone to share secret military information about an operation in Yemen in March. At an event in California Saturday, Hegseth defended the military strike against a suspected drug boat off the coast of Venezuela.
The president has designated these as terror organizations, poisoning and threatening the American people, making them a target just like al-Qaeda.
Meanwhile, President Trump is set to host the 2025 Kennedy Center Honors tonight. He's the first U.S. president to host the awards show. At a dinner for the honorees last night, the president touched on deploying National Guard troops to several U.S. cities.
Blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear about that. I want to hear about the double tap. Yeah, there we go. There we fucking go. This is what we came to see.
Bradley's meetings on Capitol Hill with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, President Trump said he would have no problem if the full video of the strike is released. When can we see that video? When will you release it?
We're reviewing it right now to make sure sources, methods. I mean, it's an ongoing operation. TTPs. We've got operators out there doing this right now. So whatever we were to decide to release, we'd have to be very responsible about. So we're reviewing that right now.
Did you at any time say that everybody on board should be killed?
Is anybody here from the Washington Post? I don't know where you get your sources, but they suck. Of course not. Anybody that's been in the Situation Room or they've been in the war room there, Secretary's office, no, you don't walk in and say, kill them. It's just patently ridiculous. It's meant to create a cartoon of me and the decisions that we make and how we make them. It's ridiculous. The chairman and Admiral Bradley and everybody shot it down immediately because anybody that knows that's not how things go. There's a very defined process.
Look, Pete Hegseth is kind of a Rico Limbaugh. Right now he's doing the political answer, but behind closed doors, he's a cowboy. And we need him. He's if this was an NBA game and Trump was the star basketball player, Pete Hegseth would be considered an enforcer. Pete Hegseth strikes fear in the hearts of foreigners, of terrorists, but also blacks and gays. The reason is because there is a coming war, a soon coming war, a civil conflict. And little do you all know, you will be fighting against a militia, a small army in different cities that will primarily be made up of blacks and white gay people. Those will be your enemies. Look around now. Who are the people showing up to these protests? Every time you look up who's getting fired that hates Trump, it's either somebody who's black or somebody who's gay or a hybrid of both. They have weaponized this group. We refer to them as the Black Army, but black is spelled hashtag BLAQARMY. We have tagged them in thousands of posts over the last 3 years, and they will be activated soon enough. The reason that they want Pete Hegseth removed is because he is the strongest white man that we've had in years. He's the closest thing I can say to Pete Hegseth is he's a Hasselhoff or a Hulk Hogan for the modern times. And these people know, these people on the left, these foreigners, Democrats who have weaponized the blacks and the gays and these illegals, these foreigners, they know that Pete Hegseth is the one white man in power who would have no problem killing them all and wiping them all out. See, Trump doesn't have the stomach for it. Trump didn't even have the stomach to call in the National Guard when the White House was attacked, the real insurrection that was on May 29th. Trump didn't have the stomach for it. Trump doesn't have the stomach now to drop the hammer on these illegals and just release ICE to its full potential and do massive arrests of anybody obstructing law enforcement. Fucking Trump doesn't have the stomach. Pete Hegseth is on a leash. That leash is starting to break. See, what Pete Hegseth did with this double tap, where those two men survived on that drug boat, and he told them to hit those fuckers again. What Pete Hegseth did was he made an example, and he showed the world. He showed the Democrats, he showed the blacks, he showed the gays, he showed the illegals and the terrorists. When you attempt your coup in the next couple of months, there will not be any safeguards that are going to stop us from killing you. Why do you think these people come across the border the way they do right now? They're not afraid of our military opening fire. Our border patrol might as well just walk around with slingshots. You're not going to shoot anyone. You're not going to, even if you're shot upon, you're not going to engage in battle. They're timid. They're hesitant. They know Pete Hegseth is a cowboy who will have no problem doing what needs to be done. They haven't seen someone like Pete Hegseth in the White House since Donald fucking Rumsfeld. And they're afraid because they're banking on you being afraid to be called racist, you being afraid to be called the KKK or Hitler. They're banking on you being basically succumbing to pressure from just words and being shamed. You think those Somalians are talking crazy about what they're going to do to our country and to our president because they think they can come over here and overpower an actual full-size American? No, they think that they could just insult us to death because for the past 30 years, it's worked. I mean, we gave everything over. We even let pedophiles start teaching our kids, and they've turned our own kids against us. And we didn't want to say nothing because we didn't want to be called misogynist or discriminatory or anti-LGBT and anti-trans. Now we lost our kids. Our women turned on us, and we didn't want to seem like we were controlling misogynists. So now we lost our wives. We lost our families. Our country's in shambles. Our economy's going down. People are no longer buying homes. Why should you? You don't have kids. There's no wife. So now what are you even living for? Suicide rates are up. Economy's down, and they're hoping that they can discourage so many Americans to just giving up that we would have no choice but to just open up the floodgates, invite in the third world, lose our sovereignty, and basically our Constitution goes with us into the waste bin of history. Isn't that what the pirate lady said, Omar? Isn't that what she said? Something like that about Charlie? They saw him as a strong white man. You see what they did to him. He wouldn't play ball. Tim Pool plays ball. Brandon Tatum plays ball. Charlie said he didn't want to play ball anymore. This is a war. We're the last republic standing with the Constitution. We're the last ones with free speech, our Second Amendment. They're all gunning for us. Think about it. Somalia is on the other side of the world. It's a 36-hour flight. So they're contemplating taking over the United States. But why didn't those fuckers just take over Sudan? Why didn't they take over Eritrea? Why didn't they just take over Kenya? Why didn't they take over Nigeria or the Congo? Or why don't they just invade Saudi Arabia? If you're looking to take over something, why would you fly all the way over here? Oh, those other countries aren't liberal. They're not weak and gay. Their kids aren't confused about sexuality, where you can just come in and shame them. Do you think these Somalians are going to other countries and testing those people, talking shit, committing fraud, stealing from their tax base, robbing these other countries blind. Do you think they're doing that over there? No. Why do you think they're here doing it? Because they see us as a soft target. We need more men like Pete Hegseth that strikes fear into the hearts of our enemies. Again, that's why you keep seeing his name in the news and the media, because he's the first one that has a little bit of a bloodlust. And the people on the left that thinks that, well, we can just do whatever and you're not going to get violent and it's never going to happen. They've drastically underestimated the resolve of the American people. Yes, are conservatives now outnumbered? Certainly, because even in our conservative families, our children have been converted to the LGBT, influenced by Black culture. So they're no longer on our side. They're going against us. People don't understand, if Russian and Chinese tanks rolled into the borders of California or to New York, all they would say is, hey, hello, my friend Americans, we are here to free you from white supremacy and slavery. So we're here to fight the conservatives. Every Black and gay American with citizenship would jump on their tanks and begin twerking. They would not bust a grape in a fruit fight. They would actually help the Chinese and Russians target the rest of us and hunt us down. They are not, just because they have citizenship, it doesn't mean they're Americans. That war is coming. That time is going to eventually be here. And guess what? They are going to turn against our republic, our constitution, and our president. So we might as well figure out who's who. Everybody keeps saying, oh yeah, Rico, there's a civil war coming. This. I know this. But what nobody's telling me is who exactly the enemy will be. What will they look like? How will I know who I'm fighting? Because nobody wants to profile, be called sexist, be called racist, be called homophobic. So I'll do it. I'm telling you now, when the Civil War starts, I'm telling you who your enemy will be, what they will look like, what will be their mannerisms, because you're going to have to look at their sexuality too. It's no coincidence that as soon as Trump took office and Hegseth got into office, they purged all the gays out of the military. But it's not as easy to purge all the Blacks out of the military. Now, you see, I'm correct, because who didn't want to pull the trigger when Hegseth first told him? One of these Black majors. So he had to fire him. Then there was another Black lieutenant, had to fire. When they made that speech, those senators, and they put out that alert saying, you should ignore illegal orders. They weren't talking to all of the soldiers. They were just talking to the remaining gay ones and all of the Black enlisted military men. They're going to want you to be seditionists, and they're going to want you to assist them with the coup that's coming up. And that's unfortunately our blind spot, because no one wants to seem like they're profiling or being discriminatory. And we're going to have to get over that. You know, once upon a time in World War II, there were internment camps for Japanese Americans. It was a safety measure. And they want to shame you in the future for doing it, even though at the time it was the smart thing to do. The same thing should be done now with, unfortunately, the demographic I just named that's in the military. We don't know who they're loyal to. You don't know. These senators are not just making billboards and putting up random, making random videos like that for the fun of it. They're doing it because they need to know who's going to be loyal to them when the coup starts. It won't be soon before long before they're going to make another attempt on Trump, but they're going to go all in, because if they fail, there's someone like Pete Hegseth that's going to make sure they disappear to a black site. We are going to be coming up on some strange times. It's already been said that on the 14th of this month, there will be another attempt on Trump. What if it's the 15th or the 16th? We don't know when it's going to come, but they're not going to give us 3 more years uninterrupted of Trump purging the country of all of their weapons that they literally flooded into here. They're going to have to stop this. But that's why these people are so emboldened and feel so confident to insult our president and our republic.
This man may never witness our full takeover. Yes, he may never witness that. He already witnessed our partial takeover, our little success in America. And he is the reason, actually, I know that the community in America is thriving. He is how I know. It's like, he's how we measure our progress. If he doesn't tweet, somebody messed up. I know it. Somebody fucked up the plan. If he tweet, I know. I know. We're doing the right things. Yes. That's how I know. So, he's old and sick, I know. He may not witness our full takeover. But I promise you that his sons will witness. Just like him. We came to.
You know, it's crazy. I remember being a kid and we used to watch movies. They might have looked a little different than him, but they all sound just alike. And we're actually living a movie. You know, who would have ever thought that there was going to come a time where regular citizens were going to have to physically fight on our own homeland for our country? You know, what is the saying is that the tree of freedom is periodically watered by the blood of patriots. Meaning that so that we can live in a free country and so that we can enjoy our way of life, brave men and women have to die to protect us from this outside world. You know, I'll be honest, I wasn't always this pro-Trump, pro-America, America first, America only type of man. You know, I actually speak 5 languages. I lived in 6, 7 different countries. I live abroad part-time now. I used to live in Europe for years. And I remember, you know, 2018, 2017, I was having a talk with some friends in France, and I was living there part-time. And I remember telling people, everybody has a freedom of speech. Everyone's free. Because one of my American friends was like, yeah, we got to get back home to the home of the free, land of the brave. And I was like, everybody's free. Everybody can do anything they want anywhere in the world. America's not special. America's not different. And I was wrong. I was dead wrong. I found out I was wrong because the lockdown started the day I was scheduled to fly back home to Frankfurt. And I remember in the following months, my friends in Europe giving me updates about what's happening to them because remember, they couldn't post on the internet. And I remember basically hearing the stories, and I'd seen the boot of tyranny shoved up their asses, pulled out, and then shoved down their throats. They couldn't walk into a grocery store, and if they seen another person, they weren't allowed to speak to them or they could be arrested. I remember watching my friends lose everything. But I was still in America, and instead of being in California, I jumped ship, went to Arizona. I'm at a club, getting drunk, kissing girls, kissing homeless girls, doing all, while they're telling me there's a deadly virus going around. I knew it was fake. So I'm doing me. But I'm watching videos, or my friends are watching my videos, and they're crying because they're like, we wish we were there with you. I remember I helped a friend of mine escape from Canada and get across the border into Buffalo, and from Buffalo flew to Arizona. Friends had to escape these countries that I was bragging and defending, saying that they're all just like America. Yeah, none of those countries we have guns. In America, we do. So you want to shut me down? You want me to wear a mask? You want me to stay home? Well, then start dumping. Because I have a friend of mine named 9mm. I have another friend named AK. Both of them told me, Rico, you don't got to wear a mask. Hey, you don't got to stay home. Matter of fact, do whatever you want. And I was like, really? I was like, these are some really good friends. But in Europe, my friends did not have friends like these. So you know what they did? They put butter and mayonnaise on that fucking boot. And you think I'm going to let Johnny Somali and a bunch of fucking pirates or a bunch of fucking foreigners or a bunch of gays or a bunch of BLM, you think I'm going to let them trick me out of the best country in the history of human civilization? My friend, you have assholes and elbows mixed up. Look, let me know if you agree, like and subscribe, share the video, or don't. Doesn't matter to me either way. I have a decent following of about 25 people, and I make videos specifically just for us. So they like it, they subscribe to it, we deal with each other. This is all happening in real time, but I'll be damned if I lose the last place on earth because I let a bunch of foreigners and people of colors and gays convince me to turn on the best place and join. They have no plan. And you want me to give this up and be on their side? Oh yeah, you should have voted for Kamala. Okay, what exactly would I be voting for Kamala? What were her policies? What was she going to do? It's fucking morons keep trying to talk nonsense. Trump's not perfect, but we didn't even have another choice. Because I asked people, what was the other choice? They can't tell me nothing that she was proposing, offering, suggest not a damn thing. But you want to talk me into hating my country and joining you in overthrowing, because you know that's what a coup is. They're going to try to overthrow our administration. That time is coming. You're going to have to pick a side. Are you going to jump on these foreign tanks and twerk? Or are you going to be out here in the trenches fighting with us? Pick a side. I'll be back on in a few minutes with another video. Never forget, America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.